When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We've got a pretty good ride shaping up right now. Your usual delays at the usual areas. Westbound 94 coming out of the 25th Street area all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 43 slowing down from North Avenue up past Keefe. And westbound 894 just a bit heavy from 27th Street to Forest Home through that construction zone. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, mostly sunny skies, a few morning clouds north of Milwaukee with the lake breeze, a high of 67 at the lake, 71 inland tonight, scattered showers with a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So I had told you guys that something was getting in our garbage cans, was digging through the bags, was dragging garbage all over our yard.
Fine, let me help you with these dishes. Huh?
Oh, no, George, you don't have to.
No, I know I don't have to. I want to.
George, you are such a gentleman.
I'd argue if I could.
Last night, Dario gets an alert at 11:27. An animal at the front door. And there it is! Little Rocky Raccoon just traipsing across our front porch, headed to the smorgasbord, which is our garbage can.
It was not in the garbage. It was above the garbage. Hovering. Like an angel. Of course I know your aunt bit it. I kissed her goodbye. Listen, can I tell you something else? In my family, we used to eat out of the garbage all the time. It was no big thing.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it.
So as the show open is rolling, I look over at the big guy, and I say to him, "Oh, did you get a haircut, big guy?" And what did you say?
Yes. Is that what I said?
Correct. That
Okay.
is that you answered in the affirmative.
I got one right.
That you
He's like, what is this, a test?
Yes.
Pop quiz.
didn't realize you had to pay attention.
What is the movie that's from? Pop quiz.
Hot Shot.
Hot Shot? I thought maybe it was Saw, but that's, do you want to play a game? Different inquiry. He says yes, and I say, no, you're supposed to say, I got them all cut. 'Cause that's the dad joke.
Yes.
I didn't get a haircut.
What is a mall cut?
There it is.
M-A-U-L or M-A-L-L?
No, maul like a dog.
Yeah.
The hell's mall with a dog?
It's
M-A-U-L.
It's when they don't sharpen the scissors and your hair ends up looking so bad.
Very confused right now.
Yeah, that's
And that's what we were getting to.
generally
So
your
I
state of
said,
being.
I said to you, no, I got them all cut. All. Them all. That's the dad joke.
Okay.
Did you get a haircut?
My
Yes.
dad used to say it. I had no idea what the hell he meant.
Yeah, no,
I
I
thought
got-
it was just him being old.
So then Chewy says, what even is a mall cut? Mall, M-A-L-L, or, as Joshy just tried to get him to follow the bouncing ball on, mall as in M-A-U-L. But no, not mall cut like you got it at the Supercuts at the mall. All, them all. We're having a real pan situation.
Yeah,
here.
it is very
Gabe
pandish.
just rolled his eyes and chuckled to
So
himself.
a mall cut is bad.
It's not good.
Oh, that's a bad joke.
Oh,
Oh, like
no.
you get your ears
still-
lowered?
You still don't get the joke.
You don't get the
I
joke.
don't. Let's just move on.
Did you get?
Did you get a haircut?
And the response is, no, I got them all cut.
Ah.
That's the dad joke.
Now I get it.
Now he gets
What
it.
a bad joke.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
That's
Well, but
The fact that
dad
we have
jokes
spent 4 minutes on this,
But
I am
dad jokes are
embarrassed.
bad jokes. Isn't that the whole point of dad jokes?
Yeah,
They're
but I
like,
never knew it was bad.
Because you didn't understand it before.
I am a little offended that you think this has no value, what we're doing right here, Gabe.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I feel like it is confirming thoughts that we have had.
So a mall cut is bad.
And
All right.
speaking of concussions,
He's still saying mall cut.
What is it called?
Them all.
No, my dad said mall.
Got them all.
I got them all cut.
Gotta
no,
catch 'em
I
all.
don't think so. I mean, I have
What
bad
is this,
hearing.
Pokemon now?
Yeah.
No, he called it a mall cut.
no, I don't think so, he says to me. The one who delivered the joke.
I had no idea about the dull scissors.
I made that up on the spot.
Oh. Am I gullible?
Half a cup.
Put it on the poll.
Half
Put it on the poll. Is Chewy gullible?
Half a cup.
I think I am.
I'm gullible. I was under the impression that having an allergy to water was impossible. You guys told me that is not the case this morning. So one of the Packers' new draft picks, Jacob Monk, offensive lineman out of Duke, revealed yesterday. Now, he had talked about it before, but Bill Huber yesterday, I guess, got him to chit-chat about it a little bit at Lambeau Field, that he has a cold water allergy. And in the vein of be curious, not judgmental, I want to unpack this. When do you determine you have a cold water allergy?
Well, he found out by jumping into a cold tub before his first game at the University of Duke. Broke out in hives all over the place. So, yeah, that's when he found out. Broke out in hives. They did the test, and sure enough, he's got this this cold water allergy.
It is rare. I looked it up this morning. It's pretty rare. It's called cold. Now, I don't know. There's a lot of vowels in this word. Urticaria. Urticaria? You think?
Sure.
Cold urticaria or urticaria? I'm not sure if the U is a or a ur, but urticaria. It is a rare allergy where the skin or the underlying system is affected by cold water. And I said to you guys this morning, are you telling me this dude? Because it happened apparently his freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first 18 years of his life, he never jumped into a cold lake. He never went swimming in a cold pool. Like, he never had an experience before his freshman year of college where he figured out that he had an allergy to cold water.
Well, but it's got to be
what's cold.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ice has something to do with it.
So when
Having
he
the
ices, he gets the same thing?
Quite possibly, sure.
Got him. How can you play football without using ice?
I don't know.
It's impossible.
Look, I don't know, man.
See, but
he was able to do it throughout college.
Yeah. And I think it's the water aspect is what, like, as long as you wrap it and you're not getting the cold water on you,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
not-
you can cool down your body.
Weird.
It is unusual, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But hives are really nothing, right?
Right.
Well, so in his story, though, Gabe, so full disclosure, didn't it say he passed out? He got the hives and then he passed out. That's the bigger concern.
I don't see that in the Domofsky article.
I'm very allergic to cold water, so a quick story. Before we played Alabama my freshman year, I decided it would be a good idea to hop in the cold tub. I was like, this is really cold. I didn't know it would be that cold. I get out of the cold tub and go shower. I'm itching. I've got hives everywhere. When I get out of the shower, I pass out in the locker room.
Poof. Huh.
So that apparently is the concern. Now listen. Again, curiosity, not judgment. How do you play in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Because he said it's not the air and it's not snow. So he said he could be in snow and all that, and it's always been
Problem
a
with
dream
snow.
of his to play in the snow.
Joshy, I think you're
Snow
picking
is-
up what I'm putting down.
Snow is water.
I'm just
last
telling you. I'm telling you what the kid said, Joshy.
Did he never play in snow? I mean, again, North Carolina, he's at Duke.
Yeah.
It feels like in the ACC you could end up in some cold games.
Your season's over by what? December 1, though?
Is this a Duke joke or a...
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you go play at Pitt, you go play at BC with the potential for snow, but it doesn't really snow back there in November.
What I'm curious about is, so I can write the story of him never coming in contact with ice cold water, like to that extent.
Sure.
But you got to be drinking ice cold water or a soda or something of that. So is it?
It's a skin allergy,
right? But you would imagine that would affect the inside of your mouth. No,
obviously not.
These are all good questions.
Obviously
these are all
not.
good questions.
I don't know if it's obviously not.
I think these are all good questions.
I mean, if he didn't find out till he was a freshman in college.
I mean, but you never got stuck in a cold rain? You know, I can think of at least 5 instances in my life where I've gotten stuck running from somewhere to somewhere and it's pouring out and it's cold and never?
I think the ice has something to do with it. Like that cold. Like cold rain isn't, again, going to be that cold.
Okay, so there is a certain extreme temperature.
My guess is below 32. I think the ice has something to do with this. I'm guessing if he's in the cold tub and there's the ice in the cold tub, my guess is it's directly the ice.
So I imagine, and again, giving people the benefit of the doubt, that when you are scouting players, since this was public, it wasn't like he had kept it close to the vest and then just revealed it to Bill Huber in the locker room at 1265 yesterday. I assume then that a team does its due diligence, that is not something that will keep him from being able to play games. Is it any different than, I suppose, a peanut allergy or allergic to bees or something like that? Because you could theoretically be out there practicing one day and a bee zips by and you get stung by a bee and you have a deadly bee allergy. That shouldn't keep you from playing football. This is it's very unusual, and that's why we're very curious about the cold water allergy, especially when you get drafted to a place that plays in very cold weather where there may be and has been precipitation. So did they talk to him? Did they have conversations about hey, this isn't an issue as far as playing goes?
So I believe it was right after the pick was made. One of the guys in player development for the Packers, not Goody or anyone,
John Eric Sullivan.
Yeah, said they were aware of it and they deemed it not an issue. So it wasn't a surprise to them after he was drafted. They were aware of it because, as you do if you plan to pick these guys, you find out every single thing about them, from medicals to their dating history to their familial history. A lot goes into it, so it wasn't a surprise. But I did look up here that holding cold objects can cause this to happen, and swelling of the lips from consuming cold food or drink.
That's a good look today, though.
What is?
Big lips.
Women get plumpers in them.
Yeah, so just drink some cold water. The hell?
I think they're worried about the other side effects, maybe. He passed out, so is that attractive? I mean, she's passed out, but look at those
some girls
lips.
would trade off passing out for big lips instead of sticking needles in there. Or stung by bees.
That's what a lot of those plumpers are, by the way. They're chemicals that then just cause. No, but you might be onto something, buddy. If you ever want to leave the radio business and go make some extra money, you let me know how the getting stung by bees in your lips works for the plumpers. No, it's literally a chemical that causes your lips to swell. And then it's like, ooh, look at my luscious lips.
But they never look good, Jen. They never look good. They don't. If I'm sitting there going, you got your lips injected, that is a bad look. That's not a good look.
He's talking to you like you're considering getting this done. Like, no, Jen, don't do it. I'm telling you, it's bad. Don't do it.
For whatever it's worth, I am not considering getting lip injections. No judgment, again, for those who do. But now you know where Chewy stands on them.
Someone's judging here.
Put it on the poll. Who is judging? Let's see. Hold on. Want your mind blown? This from Alan in the 414. A student at my school is allergic to cold air. She's always wrapped up. It's not the air, but the wind. Temperature does have something to do with it. I've seen her medical paperwork. We Googled her condition. Sheila weighing in the 414. If you have allergies and there are severe allergies, they typically take over your respiratory system. That's why they are scary. And the first warning is the hives. The swelling can attack your throat and your tongue, etc. Again, that's my concern, is that this would be more serious, that this might keep him from being able to have a career in Green Bay, Wisconsin. John weighing in the 414 saying it's hard to see the hives that develop inside of your stomach and your throat. So he's saying you could still get the hives, Gabe, from drinking the cold water, and Joshy, but you may not see them. Steven Rhinelander saying, my son plays football in college. He got 2 different bacterial infections from cold tubs last fall. I'm really questioning if it's from the cold water or the junk in the tub. Full disclosure, that was my first question to you guys when you brought this up to me. Could it possibly be whatever chemicals they are using to clean the cold tub instead of the cold tub? But you said he's been diagnosed with the allergy.
It was an actual medical condition, and the resultant fainting, which is a form of anaphylaxis that he went into, which would lead to allergy, not just simply dirty water or chemicals.
Yeah. Plus, again, like as much as, I mean, you talked about the NFL teams wanting the medicals done and all these different things. These college teams also extensive medical work on the college football players.
That's why it's so rare when a medical thing pops up for these people, because they are constantly being evaluated.
But there's no medication he can take? Like for allergies, you take Zyrtec or Claritin.
Sure. But again, this being a pretty rare disease, and
also,
funding isn't exactly.
But like a Benadryl, I mean,
robust.
some of these things cover a lot of different allergies.
Yeah, but if I get stung by a bee with a bee allergy, a Benadryl ain't gonna do me crap.
Yes, I think so. My daughter has a histamine. She has excessive histamine in her system. So we have had these conversations with her dermatologist. If she were to get stung by a bee, they don't know what her reaction to it would be because of the excess histamine. So they did say we should always have Benadryl on hand to immediately, hopefully, counteract whatever the effects are of her histamine situation. Let's see. I did Google, guys, the strangest allergies, the most bizarre allergies, and water is number 1. Yes, you read that right. Water, good old H2O, can actually cause people with what we said, urticaria. I really hope that somebody can let us know what that is before the end of the show. To break out in hives whenever their skin comes in contact with water. They itch constantly and can be painful. While there are some topical and oral medications that can ease this itching, being allergic to water has no known cure. Do you guys want to try to guess what the other 5 are on this list?
The other 5 what?
Bizarre allergies.
Bizarre.
Sun is going to be there.
Sun is on the list, yes, number 4.
Is that bizarre, though? I guess I've known enough of that. I've heard of it enough.
And it's that word again. It's solar urticaria.
I would guess I've heard of people being allergic to sweat.
Exercise after eating is on the list. Oh, sweat is on the list. It's number 6 on the list.
Really?
It actually has 6. But exercise after eating is on the list. We have heard that some people are allergic to exercising after eating.
Yeah, that's obvious in this country. Quite go to the airport at the DMV. They're allergic to working out.
You're in rare form. Is there any other population you're planning on taking out this morning on the radio?
You decided to throw it off the backboard. It's not his fault if he dunked it.
Coins is on the list, Gabe. Coins is on the list. People are allergic to nickel and certain metals. So when they touch coins, they have an allergic reaction. And this is the strangest one, being touched. There are plenty of people out there who are allergic to their skin being touched. It triggers a histamine release, there's that word again, causing hives and itching. There is no cure for this allergy, but antihistamines can help if you are allergic to being touched. I have friends that would claim that they were allergic to being touched.
So clearly it's a human to human thing, because if you're wearing a shirt,
something about
that's on your the shirt is on your skin. Yeah, it's got to be something about another person touching.
What happens if you touch yourself?
You're good.
Isn't there a song about that? Aren't there several?
I touch myself.
Aren't there many songs about that, actually? All right, we got to get to Jason Wilde. Let's talk some serious Packers stuff with Jason Wilde right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 41, we've got a crash now off on the right shoulder at Pilgrim Road. Northbound on 43, slowing down basically from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Southbound side slowing down just as you're getting into Capitol Drive. And then on eastbound 94, slowing down from 92nd Street all the way to Hawley Road. Traffic is brought to you by the Club at Lac La Belle. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week starting this Sunday, May 5th. Schedule your tee time today at club@laclabelle.com. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny skies, a few morning clouds north of Milwaukee. Lake breeze later on with a high of 67 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, scattered showers with a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Kessler's has diamond pendants for Mother's Day.
Diamond pendants for only $70. Mother's Day celebrates motherhood.
And it's always appropriate to give a Mother's Day gift to a mom.
Diamond pendants for only $70. Your mother is a mother.
Your wife may be a mother.
Your girlfriend may be a mother. Your sister may be a mother.
Your grandmother's certainly a mother.
You might even have a coworker who is a mother. Motherhood needs to be celebrated.
Always.
You heard the part about the $70, right? Giving a diamond pendant to a mom who wasn't expecting it is one of the greatest joys you'll ever experience.
The surprise on their face when you say Happy Mother's Day is worth 10 times the price you paid.
They'll remember that gift forever.
And you will too.
Welcome to Kessler's, where you can buy a diamond Mother's Day pendant for just $70. Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether it's baseball season, basketball playoffs, or hockey playoffs, experience it live this spring with Vivid Seats. With one of the most reliable rewards programs in the business, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards, you can earn with every ticket purchase, including surprise seat upgrades, birthday discounts, free tickets, and more. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He has come light years in the last 2 months, and people should be over the moon excited about that.
Okay, most of the time.
Almonds specifically or all nuts?
Well, these nuts, those nuts, whatever nuts work.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Boucher Automotive. With 16 different new car brands and over 35 pre-owned brands to choose from. Boucher Automotive. We are driven by you.
Checking in with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde this morning about the Green Bay Packers. Jason, we were just having a conversation about Jacob Monk and his cold water allergy. First time we have heard about anything like that. And our general assumption is that the medical staff of the Green Bay Packers has determined that will not be an issue for him playing in the frozen tundra of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Are you under the same impression?
Yes, that's exactly what John Eric Sullivan told us on Saturday, that they're aware of it. It's not an issue for them. I did find it, I guess, amusing, even though this is not like, I had one of our listeners email me and say that their son has the same issue, which I had never heard of until Saturday either. But it's not. I mean, it's really strange. Like, apparently there's like this kind of window of where the temperature can be without it being an issue for folks that have this malady. So it is something they'll have to monitor. But even John Eric Sullivan, the vice president of player personnel, kind of made a wisecrack about it and said, we'll just make sure he doesn't go ice fishing. But we had all kinds of questions, is it okay to play in snow, and can you drink a glass of cold water? And so it was one of the things that you do this job for a long time and you think you've seen everything. Now maybe I've seen everything.
Jason, we've seen all the pundits' grades. Most of them are Bs. What grade would you give them, and who do you really like out of this draft?
Incomplete. I give them incomplete.
Okay.
Because it's stupid that we do these grades right away. I wonder what did the Jets get when they drafted Zach Wilson the day after or 2 days after they drafted him, right? And ultimately that was an F, right? Because you didn't get your franchise quarterback. There's a number of guys that I really like. Monk is one of them. He just has kind of a Corey Linsley vibe to me. They were both drafted in the 5th round. They're both former captains. They're both really smart dudes. They both play center, not a left tackle moving over to center. So he was one of them. The guys that I'm really intrigued by, Edgerrin Cooper is one of them. I know there was some question about, how effectively he can digest the playbook. I get the sense that what Jeff Hafley wants from him and Quay Walker and anyone else who plays linebacker for them is just to be free-flowing and fast and long and go sideline to sideline and be able to do all the things that, these really good interior linebackers are doing now in terms of being able to get after the quarterback when called upon, be stout against the run, and also cover people. There's an interesting conversation that we had with Goody because, back in your day, the middle linebacker, I think he said that they were square, which is not the shape that I was thinking of when it came to Ron Cox and Bernardo Harris. But I guess that's kind of true, right? They're just sort of these big bulky dudes, and that's not what they are anymore. So I'm really interested in him. And then, the running back Lloyd, there aren't many times where I'm taller than a player that they draft. But his 220 pounds and my 220 pounds, I think, are slightly different. Mine is much softer than his. And then the last one that I'm really curious about, obviously I thought it was great that they drafted an Oregon guy and an Oregon State guy, both at the same position. But I'm really intrigued by Kalen King. He's not a 7th round pick like Tausch, who, only spent 1 year as a starter at Wisconsin and he didn't know how good he might be. Or like Driver, who had played, at a small school at Alcorn State. Or even Timmerman, right? I think what's interesting about King is after his sophomore year, everybody thought he was going to be a 1st round pick. And then he had a really bad junior year, came out anyway, and ends up going with the 3rd to last pick in the draft. So it's a really interesting class. I'm eager to see what they can do when we go to practice, hopefully on Friday.
Should we expect going forward that when the Packers have a need going into the draft, Gutekunst is just going to take a couple of different players? And I look at the linebackers, they take the 2 in Cooper and Hopper. You mentioned the 2 safeties, also throwing a 3rd one with their 2nd-round pick in Javon Bullard out of Georgia. Because the one word I feel like we've been hearing the last 2 years around this time, Jason, is competition. And they want as much competition on the roster as possible.
They do, and I think that they have succeeded on that. And, again, in 3 years, they've drafted 35 players. And nobody in the league has done that. And, I'll be honest, we went into last Monday and the presser with Goody thinking, okay, he's got 11 picks. He picked 24 guys the last 2 years. there's no way that they want to have another big double-digit draft class. And he told us that he did. I hope, I'd like to get 13 or 14 or more, he said, right? And then he was up to 13 at one point before he made a couple of trades. So this is really what he wants. I can't emphasize this enough. He kind of dropped some breadcrumbs earlier in the offseason that because of what had happened with the offense last year with all those young guys, that he was going to try and do the same thing on defense. And then I just asked him flat out about it on Monday, and I said, are you more convinced than ever that this is a young man's game? And was there some sort of shift in your mentality? And he said that he's always believed that, and what last year did was it confirmed his belief that this is you have to go young, and that if you play young guys early and go through the growing pains with them and the frustration and the disappointment and the poor plays and the mistakes, that you come out better on the other side and you're better off long term. Now, that worked last year. I would defer to Chewy, but it is almost as if there's been this kind of, I don't want to call it an overcorrection because this is what he believes, but I've always believed in the value of experience. And I am a little bit, I don't want to say leery, but a lot of young guys, it's great, youth, and they're not, John Eric Sullivan made a comment about how when you have an older team, it affects how you practice, and it takes guys longer to recover. I mean, I just think they're all in on youth, and I am curious if, they were a couple of plays away from being 7-10 instead of 9-8, and we're not feeling the exact same way about them today as we are if they do that. So I'm really curious to see this. If he is right, and he very well could be, they're doing things very differently. No team has gone. We always talked about how Ted loved young players. I mean, this is well beyond even what Ted would do. So it's a really fascinating experiment, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Is it your guess then, Jason, that they will be the youngest team again this season, just with how many of the draft picks we kind of expect or are projected to be out there on the field?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question. Like they did add 2 veteran players, but even those guys, like Xavier McKinney is younger than Darnell Savage, who was their opening day starter, and Josh Jacobs is younger than Aaron Jones. And then you add all these draft picks. I think it's a fascinating case study. And if they succeed and if they go win a Super Bowl like this, I'm not saying that this is like Moneyball, where Billy Beane, completely changed baseball. But I think it's really interesting that if this succeeds, I wonder how many other teams will say, all right, we're going to very rarely give out third contracts and maybe even more rarely give out second contracts than normal, right? Like, I'm curious if they're just going to, like John Runyon, for example. Chewy, I don't know if you agree with this, but John Runyon played well enough that back in the Ron Wolf, Ted Thompson era, you would have re-signed him. Mm-hmm. And he'd be a starter for another 4 years. And instead, it was kind of like, yeah, we're not going to pay for that. We think we can get a young guy, Sean Ryan, who we drafted 2 years after we took Runyon. We think we can get him ready, and he can play the same way. Like, it's almost like very few people are irreplaceable beyond the quarterback. And I guess we'll even see if there are wide receivers that become, guys that we absolutely positively have to re-sign.
Jason, I'm giving you 100-1 odds, and you're putting $100 down. Give me the starting line for the opening game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, you got me thinking now because I'm a big better guy. Can I bet with your $100?
Yeah, sure.
So Tom at right tackle, Ryan at right guard. I think Josh Myers still the starting center on opening day, but not necessarily the starting center by midseason. I don't know enough about Monk. I just really like him. So I think that would be ridiculous for me to say he's going to win the starting job. I just don't have enough evidence to back that up. Obviously, Elton at left guard, and I kind of think the same thing at left tackle opening day. Like, I think we're kind of underestimating Rasheed Walker. I did think that he played significantly better down the stretch than he had at the first half of the season. The guy started 17 games, including 2 playoff games. And I just think that, in Morgan's case, he's obviously the guy of the future. But I keep going back to Bulaga, who, if Tausch doesn't get hurt, I'd be curious to know how soon Bulaga enters the lineup back in 2010. Because he ends up being the youngest guy to ever start a Super Bowl. But if Tausch doesn't have his body start to break down on him, I'm not sure that they were going to replace Tausch with Bulaga as quickly as they did. Because remember, Brian was really, really young and had not played a ton. He started as a true freshman in Iowa. It's not like he hadn't played, but I think they were thinking they'd be able to bring him along slowly. And then I think 4 games in, Tausch gets hurt and he's done for the year. So
Jason, you think the drafting of Monk quashes Tom moving to center?
I do. Yeah, I definitely do. I don't. I know we got a lot of mileage out of Rob's comment, but as I said to him, and as I think we talked about, it's one thing for a couple of guys in the personnel department to think that, but if I'm Zach Tom and I see the contract that Sewell got in Detroit as a right tackle, I'm telling you, I ain't moving to center. I don't care what you tell me to do. You can go trade me to somebody else to play right tackle for them then, because I'm not getting paid like a center. I'm getting paid like a right tackle.
Yeah, this is the conversation we had a couple of years ago about somebody. Who was it that was a receiver tight end? Wasn't there a player who,
Jimmy Graham.
It was Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham wanted to be labeled a wide receiver because he
got the franchise tag.
That's right.
And he wanted to be paid the wide receiver money, but he was designated a tight end, so he got paid the tight end money.
All right, Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, he was neither during his time.
He was there.
All right, guys, take care. Big guys. Yeah, he was there, unfortunately. Bye.
He was present. So we're going to put that on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll because, Chew, I think you bring up a great point about the offensive line. They're going to want to get those younger players in there at some point, the Monks and the Morgans of the world. But I was a little surprised that he thinks that Walker will kind of have a hold on that left tackle spot. And I thought Morgan, they kind of were saying was going to be a starter from day one. Is he going to be a guard, Gabe? I mean, what do you think the plan is for Morgan?
I think what they were saying is they're going to start him at that position, not necessarily be the starter, because they want the competition. And the one thing that Jason's also brought up, the one thing we know about Rasheed Walker is he's going to compete. Because he competed for the position last year, and that's how he ended up winning it. And I know that's what they loved about him, especially when we all thought that Yash Nyman was going to be the left tackle last year.
You can understand my confusion then with he's going to start at that position. Yeah. I thought start meant he was going to be the starter.
That's just where he's
starting.
Yeah.
That's a little Pan-Panish.
Starting there.
A little Pan-Pan.
Let's go to the mall.
Hello, Ms. Lady.
I think what they're trying to communicate is we'd like him to be our starting left tackle. We're not sure if he's going to be that good.
All right, we're putting it on the Jen, Game, and Chewy Twitter poll. Who would you like to be the starting left tackle when the season starts for the Green Bay Packers? We'll take a break. Roll on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Delays continue northbound on 43 from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Southbound slowing down from Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic. One basically from about Calhoun to Moreland Road and then back on the brakes out of the Zoo interchange all the way to about Hawley. Westbound 894 going to be backed up from the Mitchell interchange to 68th Street. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. Ship Mom a Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Go to kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH to order. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, mostly sunny, a few morning clouds north of Milwaukee. Lake breeze later on with a high of 67 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, scattered showers, a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Attention, Wisconsin! Eagle Sports Range is now open, proudly claiming the title of Wisconsin's largest indoor range. Enjoy 40 lanes, unlimited range time, no reservations needed, and an impressive selection of 100 firearm rentals with unlimited swaps. Experience the thrill like never before. Right now, you can text ESPN to 414-375-6030 for a free range pass. That's 414-375-6030. Valid for one person only, expires within 48 hours. Head to eaglesportsrange.com for more info.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
This NFL Draft Player Profile is brought to you by ServPro.
Today, the NFL is full of general managers who erase past draft boards and pretend like it never even happened. For instance, in 2014, a guard out of Notre Dame fell to the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 16. Zach Martin, remember, a left tackle at Notre Dame. Durable, 52 starts, an Iron Man, a projected inside because he didn't have the great arm length, and what a player he has become. Martin has been selected first-team All-Pro in 7 of 10 seasons, including this year.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
What is dedication?
People ask how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't. I just created an environment where they taught themselves and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of sodas now that are prebiotic sodas
they
as
don't
well.
work. They're called poop. No, they're really called poop, I think. You buy them on Amazon.
I thought you were going to stop talking.
You got a lot of brust in you. You know that?
On 94.5 ESPN.
It's a Hughes Day here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. If you missed any of Jason Wilde's conversation with us, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, you name it. We did mention to him this idea of the Packers being the youngest team for the second year in a row in the NFL. Now, that is not confirmed yet. It will depend wholly on, I think, how many players they drafted that are in the starting lineup on defense and on offense. But based on the holes we knew they had, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, it is likely that they will be infusing some of those young players. And, oh, by the way, the players that they got in free agency were pretty young as well.
Yeah.
In McKinney and Jacobs. So they're going to be, they skew young too. Chewy, do you agree with Goody kind of focusing on the NFL being a young man's game, and there is more value in the players being younger and learning on the fly, right? That's always going to be the catch-22. Or having a veteran team who has been there, who has done that, who is less likely to make the mistakes that these young guys will make?
To me, I think it's more contractual than anything. Take Ryan, for example. Okay, well, I don't know what he wound up getting in New York. Is that where he went to the Giants?
Runyon, yeah.
So he probably got a handful of million. They look at him as a guy and they're confident in the development of their O-linemen and their drafting ability. So their belief is, I can get probably the same guy in the draft, not as experienced, but I have to pay him a lot less money, so I can pay Jordan Love and the linebacker. Guys like that.
Devondre Campbell.
No.
What are you talking about?
No. Michigan.
Gary.
Rashawn
Thank
Gary.
you. That was
You said
close.
Rashid. We should have known
Yeah,
that.
I
That's
know.
on us.
But I think that's why they do it, which is smart as long as you're confident in your drafting and development of that position.
John Runyon, by the way, did get a 3-year, $30 million contract.
See, I mean,
so
they're
he's
paying
getting
him
10
a year where they can come in and replace him.
Yeah, Ryan's making $1.5 million.
Yes. That's why they do it. They don't do it because they're young. They just it's the same philosophy as getting a quarterback. It's like, let's get him playing kind of early so he's good. We get a decision on the 5th-year option. We know if he's going to be a franchise guy. If he's not, get rid of him and move on.
But let me add one more wrinkle to why Goody's thought process might actually be a good one. We have seen over the last 10 years the NFL go from 16 games to 17 games, with that 18th game being just on the horizon, right? I know we keep talking about how it's going to happen.
Roger Goodell was very open about it during the Super Bowl, during the draft
Getting
process.
rid of a preseason game and replacing it with a actual live game. There's a part of me that thinks that an 18-game schedule, Chewy, that is a young man's game.
Yes.
Like the injuries and being able to wear and the tear of this league, and the more games that you're adding, you just recover faster. You heal faster when you're young. This isn't rocket science. It's just the reality. And so there's a part of me, Gabe, that thinks that might be something they are considering as well.
Yeah, but also you're about to pay Jordan Love. He's going to get a big-time contract. With youth comes, to Chewy's point, inexpensive talent. And that's what you have to do. You have to, if that's what you're funneling through, because you're only going to pay select positions. I'm really curious of the guys who are going to get second contracts, the Rashawn Garys, the Jordan Loves. Who are you going to pay out of that wide receiver group? Are you going to pay any of them? Or are you just going to continuously try to backfill because you're going to have 10 to 12 picks in every draft?
Now, this is a little sidebar here, and they really want that. If the players were smart, which they're not. I'm smarter than all of them. They're a bunch of dopes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They would say, okay, you want your 18 game? You want your 18th game in a season? I want 1 year knocked off of free agency. Want it off. So instead of the 5th-year option, it's a 4th-year option. Because just imagine a rookie being trapped, right? If you're a first-round pick, they have your rights for 5 years. Now, if it's a young man's game, you're going to be out the door. You're going to be out the door. I'd dig my heels in and say, you want the 18th game? Drop 1 year off of free agency.
Do you think that's more important, or is the franchise tag more important? Getting rid of the franchise tag.
No, I think
because the 5th-year option only affects
a handful of players, but still,
it's the same thing with the franchise
tag. But still,
tag.
even 4 years, Gabe,
Yeah.
being locked in for 4 years. Based upon how young the NFL is going, what's a long career now? I'm saying non-quarterback related.
5 years, 4.5 years. I actually got the numbers right in front of me.
Right?
The study shows the average experience of an NFL player this just popped up right in the middle of the thing. Popped right up in the middle of the thing.
I thought you were saying ADD.
No,
I'm sorry.
4.6 years in 2005, 4.3 in 2020. So it probably has gone down even more. And the article that I'm looking at right now is talking about how the real casualty of that shoe is the middle class veterans.
Yes.
Right now, there are more young, inexperienced players in the league than veterans who are average to above average. Again, we're talking about the NFL talent pool. We're not talking about the everyman talent pool. But if you are average to above average veteran in the league, you are now expendable for the reasons that you guys have
super
given.
replaceable. Because again, just the veteran minimum salary for you making $4.5 million.
Yes.
They'll go out and draft someone in the 5th round and think that they can replace you.
And every player would be behind it, getting to free agency 1 year quicker. They'd all be behind it, and then they would all vote for it. But you got to dig your heels in, and I would get that message out right now. You want the 18th game? Drop a year off free. Let them chew on that for a while, and then don't move off it.
They're going to do something, Chew, like
they'll talk to
grass fields
we
everywhere.
want grass fields, just stupid
Something
stuff.
that's not that significant.
Not to distract us from the contract negotiations here, but are we missing the boat on what Goody is telling us about the Green Bay Packers? We all think youth is the movement. Packers have always loved youth. But is he telling us this is still a team in rebuild mode?
No, I don't get
we
that.
thought Xavier McKinney was the answer of like, oh, maybe they're going for it. Josh Jacobs, maybe they're going for it. But when you stay where you're at, trade back to acquire more picks and get even younger, because the guys drafted last year aren't going to make the team this coming round. Like Anthony Johnson Jr., be lucky if you make the squad. So you're now trading 23-year-olds for 22-year-olds, and you're getting younger and younger and younger. Like, to me, I think there's a lot. Goody's telling us this isn't nearly the end roster of what we want.
But if you look at Josh Jacobs' contract, they can get out of it at any time.
After 1 year.
After
the
1
first
year,
they
he can be
get out of it.
gone.
And I also think that the thing we just said about the league, the trend is the entire league is going younger. This is across the board. So then the goal is just to make sure you've got the better younger players than the next team.
I think we've skewed our perception of what the Green Bay Packers have always wanted to do because Aaron Rodgers caused them to go super old. He was basically, we need to keep everyone here and kind of keep status quo. And to me, the difference to me is the adding multiple players at one position. That's like the unique part. But I don't think they've changed in how much they prefer youth.
No, but I think they're going to continue to. So the thing about the two free agents that we talk about, right? Like, to me, those are the free agents. And those are the only type of free agents that Goody's going to sign.
100% I agree.
Yeah. Guys that are going to be in their mid-20s. Now, maybe he breaks glass in case of emergency, but I think the days of seeing a Julius Peppers who worked out or a Jimmy Graham who didn't, I don't think that Goody is looking at those people unless, again, like he strikes out at the position the way he did at wide receiver when he initially got here. And then he's got to go out and dabble and get someone just to supplement the position.
No, I agree.
I do think that it's an interesting question that you're posing, Joshy, though, about are the Packers still in a rebuild? I don't get that vibe. I get the vibe that they are in a win now. Like, we talk about the window being open or closed, as we were discussing yesterday in the case of the Milwaukee Bucks. Right now, it feels like the window is open. And not just the crack that we talked about last year. It's cracked open if you can kind of sneak through. Oh, it would be great to have that freedom. No, I feel like the window is open because you have your franchise quarterback. You're putting those pieces around him. You've got the guys in place to protect him. He has all of his offensive weapons. And now you have gone out and done what you can to take those shots in free agency, to build the defense in the draft. It feels like the Green Bay Packers right now are in a win now mode. Now, could it be, like we have discussed with the Bucks, where this year is just kind of prepping for that next stage and you still have to go through the stages of success to get to the Super Bowl? Maybe. But it feels very much, and Chew, you tell me if I'm wrong, it feels very much like the way the Green Bay Packers are currently constructed, they are in we want to win the NFC and we want to be in a Super Bowl in the next 2 seasons.
They got 3 years. 3 years. Because this is it for San Francisco. Okay, they're going to have to reset.
Speaking of windows.
Because they're going to have to reset because they got to pay Purdy and they're paying all these guys now. So they know that, all right, this is the year we have to win it. And then it's how long is that reset?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How long is that reset? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Is it 5 years? Some teams are stuck in an internal reset, a la Bears. That's what they got to manage.
Yeah.
You got 3 quick reset. Jordan Love's still solid. To me, it's amazing that Kansas City can do it, and they're not doing it because of their players. I can tell you that.
Because you love Andy Reid.
I mean, I'd like to think that Patrick Mahomes has,
fine.
something to do with the success that they've had.
He's
Kelsey
fine.
just signed a new deal.
That's
you saw
like,
that?
thank you for your past service. That's all that is. That is. Am I right?
He's a Hall of Famer, man.
You typically don't give $34 million to a guy as a thank you.
The guy just had 100 yards and a big reason that they came back in the Super Bowl.
Just send a gift basket like everybody else.
I'm sure he likes cheese.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel has something bigger, better, and bolder, and it is coming your way this week. Guess where Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are going to be on Friday? That's right, the Potawatomi Sportsbook venue that will be opening that day. It has a 2,000-square-foot video wall. It has luxury seating for more than 200 people. It has an expanded food menu, and you guys are going to love this. There's a broadcast booth. That's where you'll find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Friday mornings. Mark your calendar for Friday. That's when when sports betting in Milwaukee becomes like nothing you have ever seen before. Potawatomi Sportsbook, a new era of sports betting, begins on Friday.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
I love a beautiful lawn. I hate doing lawn care. That's why I use True Green. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. We all know those are some nice greens, so just imagine what they could do to your lawn. All you have to do is water and mow. And to top it off, when you sign up for an annual plan by April 30th, get one application free. Visit TrueGreen.com for the best lawn at the best price. Guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer. Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
The Club at Lac La Belle is the birthplace of golf in Wisconsin, with a rich history you will feel once you arrive. Experience a round at the Club at Lac La Belle. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week starting Sunday, May 5th. Schedule your tee time today at clubatlaclabelle.com. This is a golf destination that you will want to play over and over again. Enjoy fine dining and event space after your round. An historic past meets a vibrant future. Go to clubatlaclabelle.com to start your journey.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
With the Yankees in town over the weekend, things started off with a bang for the Crew.
1-1. Line past. Jahmai Jones and into left field for a base hit. Miller drops home, and Joey Ortiz has walked off New York.
Unfortunately, those would be the only positive fireworks for the Brewers over the weekend. That Game 1 series win. The Yankees go on to take care of the Brewers in Games 2 and 3 over the weekend. A final score total of 30-8 over those combined 2 games. But the Brewers have another opportunity to get back in the win column as they have a 3-game set with the Rays to start the week.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I just figured if I got the yellow ones from Mexico, I could slip those in without her. Did you know the Viagra in Mexico is yellow?
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, can you just paint it? You just drop it in a little food coloring?
You probably
call
could,
it
like
an
an egg. I'm going to try that.
Easter has a new meaning in the Chimera household.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Ryan from Milwaukee weighing in saying Goody's way could be good, but I think it's premature considering Green Bay hasn't been in a Super Bowl for 15 plus years. He has always been draft and develop, replace, and I could argue there have been times where they have not been all in to winning a Super Bowl. 800-990-3776 to get your reaction into the conversation we just had about Goody going young. Packers could very well be the youngest team in the NFL for the second year in a row. How do you feel about that? You think it's a good thing? We talked about how the league as a whole is going younger. We talked about the money benefits, financially, how it benefits a team. Do you like that the Packers could be the youngest team in the league for the second year in a row? We are at the clock. It is time to take a break. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that break, and we are going to talk about our friends over at Great Midwest Bank. and then we'll come right back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. It's baseball season, but I know for some of you folks it is also house hunting season. Well, Great Midwest Bank is ready to get you to home plate with their easy home mortgage loan process. You can apply online in as little as 20 minutes. Submit your loan documents through Great Midwest Bank's safe online portal, and don't worry, you will always have a real person to talk to. Great Midwest Bank's local loan officers are just a call or a visit away. It is time to find your new home, and if you do need to, you'll have a home field advantage when you work with your community bank, Great Midwest Bank. And speaking of baseball, I do want to get to some of the things that have plagued the Brewers over the last few games. We'll talk about that in the second hour of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Well, we got some backups for sure heading into the Mitchell interchange. We've also got a broken down vehicle on 94 southbound just coming out of the Mitchell interchange off on the right shoulder, so it's going to gum things up a little bit. But we got delays out of the Mitchell around the Plainfield curve past Oklahoma Avenue and also on 894 westbound all the way to about Forest Home. Delays on the Rock Freeway heading northbound, basically from 124th Street all the way up through the Hale interchange. We've also got southbound on 43 hitting the brakes from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny, a few morning clouds north of Milwaukee, some lake breeze as well. A high of 67 at the lakefront, 71 inland tonight. Scattered showers, a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle Bruston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So I had told you guys that something was getting in our garbage cans. Was digging through the bags, was dragging garbage all over our yard.
Fine, let me help you with these dishes, huh?
Oh, no, George, you don't have to.
No, I know I don't have to. I want to.
George, you are such a gentleman.
I'd argue if I could.
Last night, Dario gets an alert at 11:27. An animal at the front door. And there it is! Little Rocky Raccoon just traipsing across our front porch, headed to the smorgasbord, which is our garbage can.
It was not in the garbage. It was above the garbage. Hovering. Like an angel. Of course I know your aunt bit it. I kissed her goodbye. Listen, can I tell you something else? In my family, we used to eat out of the garbage all the time. It was no big thing.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
We had a lot of folks weighing in yesterday on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line, wondering what our reaction was to the Aaron Judge questionable play at second base from Sunday when the Yankees had the finale against the Milwaukee Brewers. And then came in today. We just didn't have time. We were talking Packers. We were talking Bucks. Didn't get to it yesterday. But then today I come in and Gabe says, welp. What'd you say, Gabe?
Oh, they had another one. Had another weird situation to end the game last night.
What happened yesterday?
Swing and a miss on Jake Bauers. 1 out, bottom of the ninth inning, 1-0 game. Ball in the dirt, gets past the catcher. Brewers had runners at second and third. They thought they were going to get
So
a runner to
winning
come
run
home.
on second,
Winning run on
tying
second.
run on third.
Tying run on third. They think they're going to be able to tie the ball game, even though Bowers just struck out because the ball got by the catcher. And instead, everybody was sent back because Bowers, on his follow-through, clipped the catcher's helmet.
That's on the catcher, though, isn't it? Unless he intentionally tried. Is that the reasoning they used?
Yeah. So apparently, the way it was explained in the pool report after the game, a backswing is a backswing. Doesn't matter what the catcher is doing. If your backswing interferes with the catcher, that's on the batter.
And instead, they said that's batter interference and sent the
Runner's back to so after because it's a strikeout, plays over.
That's
everybody
bad.
goes back.
That's horrible.
Is it as bad, though, than the previous day, less than 36 hours prior, when Aaron Judge broke up the double play by deflecting a throw, raising his arm with his sliding mitt on, and they deemed it legal on the field? Because that one was what got everybody up in arms and thought that the Brewers were on the receiving end of a very bad call. Which, again, that didn't lead to the onslaught of runs, but the fact that the inning was still alive, because I believe the next batter up popped it up for an easy out. So they would have been out of that inning after Judge. So they would have been out of that inning, but instead it stayed open, and then they were able to score like 7 runs or something like that in the 6th
Are
inning.
we just chronic complainers?
Yes.
Is it that, or is it the bad luck? See, this is what I wanted to talk about, because y'all were trying to tell me, as angry as I was yesterday about the Milwaukee Bucks, that there was really no one I could direct my ire to except the Cosmos. Am I right about that, Gabe? Just bad luck.
I asked you who you wanted to blame. You ended up blaming me.
Yeah, because I didn't have any other options.
You could have directed your blame
who
anywhere
else to blame. I don't
Literally
know
anywhere else.
who else I
Came
can.
this way.
Yes, well, again, you were the closest person there, so it was more of a proximity thing than anything else.
Let's go to the show philosopher. Are we a society of complainers, Joshy?
When did I get named the show philosopher? But
Ah.
yes. we
Oh,
complain
now you're complaining about being named the show philosopher.
There you go.
Holy
You
moly.
just made my
role
point.
here. I didn't know that was my role, but I'm happy to assume it. Yeah, everyone complains. Complaining is fun.
You
It's how
complain
get things
about
done.
umps, referees, restaurants, driving. I kind of like it. I'm not going to
You
lie.
kind of explained everything we do here.
Yes.
Do you not want to do the show? Is basically what I'm hearing.
No, I mean, this was bad. This is really bad. But shouldn't we give them a pass at times or no?
Who, the umpires, the officials? Hey, do me a favor. Time out. Walk across over there. Feel his forehead. Just check and see
I'm
if
just
he has.
asking.
He seems feverish, is what I'm hearing right now.
Like
Are you
pass
feverish?
pass interference, a missed ball strike. No?
Who are you?
I mean, they can't be 100% all the time.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but
Like, I don't think we complained back in the day. I really don't.
I'm not engaging with him again until we get a social security number check. Because that, I feel like that woman on the plane.
He is not real.
That mother bleeper is not real.
No?
You
Yes?
investing too much in the robots?
I
You're pulling
don't
yourself with a robot? Is that what's going on here,
So
big
that
guy?
he didn't have to come to work.
Programming's a
The
little
robot
off.
is here, so the robot is talking about how
You know, your
complaining
car
is a
breaks
problem.
down in 1987. You go get it fixed. You don't complain about it.
You have a famous thing you go back to from your playing days. Jerry Rice fumbled it. Did you guys not complain that they got it wrong?
Oh, I guess they got it wrong. Let's go home, boys.
I don't think. Maybe a little.
I heard you say it like 2 weeks ago.
We weren't going to win that year, anyways.
Yeah, you still weren't. You're telling me you weren't pissed off that they got the call wrong?
I didn't even know it really till after the game because
Well,
I was so
sure.
tired.
So let's get back to the task at hand for a moment, okay? So we were talking about robot umps and how robot umps would solve all the problems of the balls and the strikes that everybody has so many issues with. However, in 2 instances, robot umps would not on Sunday have been able to solve that issue. And last night, robot umps wouldn't have solved that issue, right? I mean, these are all like little incidental details where you need the human element of officials and umpires to handle them, right?
Based on the rule, it does seem like they got last night right. Based
What?
on the way
Hold
the rule is
on.
based on the way the rule is written.
Come
it seems
on.
like they got last night right.
That's hard to believe.
And again, I'm just believing the pool report from the crew chief, Chris Guccione, who was the crew chief. He wasn't behind home plate. Somebody else was behind home plate. So the crew chief is the one who handles all the questions after the game if there are questions that arise. And I think he did a pretty good job of explaining everything.
Murphy got ejected. What is the, do you have the verbiage in front of you? Do you have the rule in front of you that is in question here?
Yeah, I don't need to rule. I don't need to read the rule because, again, reading rules is pretty boring. But Guccione said, a backswing is a backswing. I know Brewers manager Pat Murphy's argument was the catcher had to go forward to try to get the ball. It doesn't really apply in this case. Backswing is backswing, and that's what we have to enforce. We watched the video. It was clearly backswing interference. I could hear it from first base. That rule that they're citing is something that does not apply in this situation because the Brewers were wanting to.
Because Murphy was saying that it was against the rules. He was very adamant last night that it was against the rules. So you're telling me that the crew chief's explanation was that Murphy was referencing a different rule?
That does not apply in this case. That was part of the explanation from Chris Guccione.
What was your reaction, Gabe, to what happened on Sunday? Because I even had, a couple of people at the baseball game last night.
I thought he would, do some good things for the Bucks.
I hear the sarcasm in your voice. So what did you think?
And I know his thing after the game, Judge's thing was, well, that's how I slide. And Dom Catronio over at WTMJ does a great job with Brewers Extra Innings after the games, did put out on social media a montage of, that's how Aaron Judge does slide. But that doesn't mean that's right.
It doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right. I know that's the way you typically slide, but when you're a behemoth of a person, and especially middle infielders who are typically smaller people, like, I'm surprised this hasn't happened before.
Why hasn't it? Because that was the question yesterday, too, which was like, if this is how he always is sliding, how is it that this just became an issue? Is this the first time he's made contact with the sliding glove and the ball?
What's the rule there?
Well, he has to get out of the way because now he's done. And again, you can slide into the base, you can try to break up the double play, and all those sorts of things. But like when you intentionally, and again, people throw balls and sometimes it ends up hitting somebody incidentally. But when you are purposefully trying to knock the ball out of the air, then
is this the Reggie Jackson rule?
And out.
Remember Reggie Jackson? This is probably before you were born. Playing the Dodgers, leaned in with his hip.
Yeah,
that's the rule.
I mean, it's evidently clear that Aaron Judge has been trying to hit the ball with that slide for many years.
Yeah.
He's just been unsuccessful.
But so he finally
it's like
made
Barry
contact.
Bonds standing over the plate and getting hit on the elbow and then traipsing to first base because it doesn't hurt. There's a reason.
He's got armor on.
Yeah. There's a reason the gloved hand is the one making contact or attempting to.
Which, by the way, is what Justin is saying on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. Justin in the 262 says, theoretically, couldn't a catcher launch forward every time a dude hits the ball and hope that the backswing hits them to make it a dead ball? If they're going to incentivize the situation, I'm assuming that there's somebody who's going to try to take advantage of it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's tough, though, to do that in that quick of time. Right. Like it's tough to be able to just lunge forward, not interfere with somebody's start of the swing, and then be there at the back of the swing. Because, again, we're talking about things happening that quickly. So I could somebody try to? Sure. But if a catcher's got that good of reflexes where they can avoid the downswing and then somehow get hit in the backswing, man, maybe that guy shouldn't be a catcher. He should probably be playing a different sport if he's got that kind of reflexes.
Chew, are you in favor of robot umps in baseball?
Yes. But how do you do it with the human element that has to come into play? How do they do that?
So they do it in the minor leagues where basically you have an umpire there who's behind home plate calling balls and strikes, but they get a signal, whether it's a ball or a strike, and they can overrule it.
Why wouldn't we use that?
They can overrule it if there's something like, again, technology.
Yeah.
We all know something goes haywire
Internet
from time
goes
to time.
out, and then you gotta do it.
Something goes weird, that ball was clearly 6 inches off the plate. Why are they trying to tell me it's a strike? No, that's a ball. And you can overrule it as an umpire. That's the way they've implemented it in the minor leagues.
Why wouldn't we use that in all sports?
It does seem like that we're headed towards that direction, right? They wouldn't have implemented it in the minor leagues unless the thought was eventually, once we work the kinks out, we can implement it in the majors.
I don't know how you do it in other sports because the only way you can do it again in baseball, because objectively It's the only thing that's black and white, right? The strike zone is supposed to be black and white. Either
Even
it is
though
a
it
strike,
varies from person to person.
correct. Either it is a strike or it isn't a strike. So you can create a strike zone that is black and white, yes or no. Everything else, in terms of officiating, whether we're talking football, basketball, I guess unless we're talking about inbounds, out of bounds.
What about marking the ball?
Again, that's tough. That's tough because it's multiple points.
Yes.
It's your knee and elbow. Okay, when your knee and elbow touch, now where's the football? There's multiple points that makes it tougher.
But they talk about VAR in soccer, right? Like that's very controversial. There are people who love VAR and there are people who hate VAR. I'm not a
help me out here.
Visual assistant referee.
Thank you.
And it is basically they use it a lot for
that was acronym arrogance.
Offsides is, yep.
That was acronym arrogance, by the way. No one knew what VAR is.
Yeah. We already have acronym. We already have acronym
All right,
arrogance.
I'm just checking, but that is a perfect example of acronym arrogance.
Just out of curiosity, how many people in this panel knew what VAR was? Show of hands.
I mean, I knew what you were talking about. I didn't know what it stood for.
Oh, interesting.
He's on my side.
Oh, you didn't know what but they call it VAR.
Correct. I didn't understand. I knew what you were talking about.
It's like if I say to you,
you got one and I got one.
If I say to you OPS, you know what OPS is, but some people don't know what OPS stands for.
I want to say base percentage. I know that's wrong. I know OPP.
Yeah, you know me.
Better keep that one to yourself. She might be listening, pal.
Damn it. Are we still under the 7 seconds?
You're saying drop it?
Where were we at? VAR.
Yes, VAR is one of those things that it's a video assistant that helps tell if the player is offsides or not. People like it and some people don't, right? Like again, we need Ashton for this conversation because he's our soccer guy, but like there are people in the soccer world that really appreciate that you have that extra electronic, robot-ish element to the game, and then there are people who don't.
The problem from what I've observed is it comes down to like micro inches and things that would typically not been called are being called because like an eighth of the ball is crossed where it should be or the person. Like sometimes it comes down to literally the fabric on their shorts going too far ahead and that being the difference between a goal or not, which is what people don't like.
But
because that's not the nature of what the rule is.
They could do the same thing in football because all the referees have headsets, and you have 40 seconds till the next play. So if someone's looking in the booth going, no, hey, referee 7, move that ball up another 8 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, right?
Oh, look, I think the implementation of a sky judge, and they already kind of do this. They're not very clear about when that extra referee is in there and not in there. You know when they've gotten word from somebody else that they need to change something when they, after further discussion, this is what we're doing. That's typically coming in their ear from like a sky judge. But they
shouldn't even have to do that. They should just do it without even announcing it. I mean, we have the technology. They have the headsets.
Yeah, but you've got to keep people in
And
the
I'm
loop.
looking at an article right now, guys, on hackaday.com that says VAR is ruining football and tech is ruining sport. So it begins with the idea that, yes, the VAR was supposed to be an assistant to help the primary referees, to help the people on the field get the calls right. But there's been a shift where now they're deferring to the VAR and almost letting it make the decisions. And as Joshy was saying, like there are times where common sense is this should have been the call, but VAR is ruling a different way because there are inches, as you mentioned, or millimeters, I suppose is the correct
what do
measuring
these people
term.
want to go back?
Inches, though.
What do they want to go back to 3 cameras? That's the problem. Is we can see everything, so you have to correct it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The reason they didn't do it before because we didn't have the technology and they had 3 cameras at a football game.
Standard definition? Have you ever gone back and watched anything in standard definition?
Well, and I would tell you guys that one of the arguments being made in this article I'm reading is that VAR takes the spontaneity out of the game. You want to celebrate a goal immediately. You want to celebrate, and now you're waiting for the computers to tell you whether or not it was in fact a legal goal, and so then all of a sudden it takes some of the spirit out of the game.
The spirit thing is great, but when you're gambling with the amount of investment, if I have a team and the VAR rules in my favor and it's millimeters, I like that because it's the difference between me winning money or not. But when you're like just fanhood, I understand it.
So this brings me to the question that my husband Dario asked when we were discussing the Aaron Judge situation from Sunday. Why isn't every play reviewable? So the argument that we just discussed with VAR, you could take it a step further, and they would say that the stopping in between the games to check the VAR to see what the video assistant says is slowing things down, which has always been the argument for why they don't want to make everything reviewable. But if Judge does that, they should be able to review that play. Right now it is currently not a non-reviewable play. They should be able to review that play and then get it right in the moment and have that be an out and then the next out. You know what I'm saying? And then, the Brewers don't give up that 7-run inning or whatever it was. So that was his argument, was like, why are there some things that are reviewable and some things that aren't reviewable?
Because, again, I think that it goes back to the spirit of the game thing. Yeah. Like, you don't want... I mean, how many times have you sat through a college football game? It doesn't happen that often, but one play gets reviewable. Oh, now that this kid got called for targeting, then we got to... All right, man, it has been 15 minutes. We have seen 2 plays of action. What the hell? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they are in the entertainment business.
Yes.
It's about entertainment. The competition is second. The entertainment is first when we're talking about professional sports.
Yep. Ooh, I got a good power rankings. This might be my best ever.
Is that your way of saying, can we end this conversation?
No,
with
I'm just saying.
rankings?
I wanted to get that in because you guys have been beating up on me the last. This might be the best one ever.
We're super excited for your one last week. That was terrible. The week before that was the worst one you've ever done.
Hold on a second here. Didn't we agree that we were going to have a traditional power rankings list? What are you getting excited about post-draft NFL power rankings?
You said do power rankings on the draft. I got power rankings on the draft.
I think we need to vote. I think we need to take a vote during the break on if we're going to go with Chew's power rankings list.
I vote
or
for
if we have
Chewy.
taken. I vote for Chewy also. Just, hashtag content.
I'll give you another shot, big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
No more B's or C's. It needs to be an A or an F. Chew.
Okay. Pass, fail.
Yes.
Tune into Thanalis' show every week. Bucks player Thanasis Antetokounmpo sits down with special guests to have fun and honest conversations with NBA stars Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell, basketball media royalty like Jay Williams, and more big-name guests already lined up for a part of Season 2 of Thanalis, like his brother Giannis. The Giannis Stephen A. Smith episode up now, so find Thanalis' show today on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts, and also subscribe to the Thanalis Show YouTube channel for accompanying videos and special content.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some backups along eastbound 94 from 92nd Street all the way to 35th. The westbound side's backed up out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And southbound 43, watch for the delays coming in from just south of Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. Ship Mama Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Go to kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH to order. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny, a few morning clouds to the north of Milwaukee. A high of 67 at the lake, 71 inland. Tonight, scattered showers, a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. From full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest Stellar Review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments, these are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with, so I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You catch the game last night?
Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
All right, we voted. You're not off the island yet, Survivor.
It's a good one. All right. Draft related. I need, since there's only 7 rounds, I had to add 3 free agents to the back end. Give me, since 1990, the best picks in every round and the 3 best undrafted free agents taken.
Good job, guys.
I immediately regret this decision.
Why?
Immediately regret this decision.
What's wrong with that?
In each round?
Every round since 1990. Give me the best player drafted.
He just wants us to say in the 6th round, Mark Chmura.
For the Packers or like all of the NFL?
For the Packers.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Packers.
Okay.
This is hard.
Ready?
Okay.
Start the clock, Joshy.
All right,
so the first round's got to be Rodgers.
Rodgers
right?
is 1.
Mm-hmm. My guess is Leroy would be 2.
Leroy, 2.
Oh, all right.
I would say that Donald Driver would be the 7th.
Donald Driver is the 7th.
Good.
Whew, okay. 3rd round picks for the Green Bay Packers. Well, okay. Trying to think where Dorsey was taken. Trying to think, would Aaron Jones be the best 5th round?
Aaron Jones is 5.
This is actually going very well for you, Gabe.
Feel free to chime in.
I'm trying.
You know, whenever you feel like it. All right, do we say the big guy in the 6th?
I think you have to. Can you think of any other 6th round? Well, wait, where was Bakhtiari drafted?
4th.
Ooh. Is he the 4th?
Bakhtiari is 4.
Okay,
wow, there you go. There's my contribution to the list this morning.
All right, we'll say you in the 6th.
Nope. Honorable mention. Number 2.
Hold on.
If we're talking undrafted free agents, would Sam Shields be on the list?
Sam Shields is 10.
All right, so we're still looking for a 3rd round pick, a 6th round pick, and potentially another undrafted free agent.
2 more free agents.
Yeah.
6th round is going to be, in my guess, Mason Crosby.
Oh, that's... No.
Nope.
He just shook his head.
Yeah, that's a no. So that's a no. We were just discussing amongst ourselves over here. Okay. 3rd round pick. I'm trying to think. Like, most of the Packers' really good receivers were 2nd round picks. James Jones was a 3rd round pick, so he's not going to be it. I'm trying to think where free was. Antonio Freeman a 3rd round pick?
Antonio Freeman, 3rd round.
All right, there you go. So all we have left is 6?
You have 6 and 2 free agents. You got to have 1. How are we doing on clock, Joshy?
I got 60 seconds.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I don't think Tremont Williams counts because he wasn't, like, he played somewhere else before, or he was on somebody else's practice squad before he came to Green Bay. Undrafted free agent or a 6th-round pick for the Green Bay Packers. Whew.
Is the 6th-round pick going to be a offensive lineman?
Adam Timmerman. Trying to think of 6th-round picks that had big-time impacts for the Packers outside of the big guy here.
I know.
Tremont Williams.
Isn't there a offensive or defensive player of the year award in here?
A defensive player of the year award?
Potentially.
Like the only ones who have won that for the Bryce Pop?
You got it. Bryce Pop.
6th-round pick.
He won it with Buffalo.
Yeah.
And he should have been it over Mason Crosby?
Oh, yeah. He's a kicker.
Yeah, it's a kicker.
Still the all-time leading scorer in Packers history.
Yeah, he didn't win the Defensive Player of the Year award with the Packers.
Thank you. Yes.
He won it with Buffalo.
Hey, once again, I didn't make the list. Okay.
Who are the 2 other undrafted free agents?
You should have got this one. Fullback.
William? Or no, Johnny.
John Kuhn.
Really?
And linebacker from our Super Bowl years.
Bernardo? Brian Williams.
Get out of there.
Backup linebacker.
Was that his nickname?
George Kuntz.
Oh, Kuntz was undrafted.
Yeah. Get out of there, Kuntz. Good list. Yeah.
That is a good list.
Liked it.
That is a good list.
Joshy?
It was better than I expected.
He lived to play another day.
Yes.
I am surprised that Pop was 6 because, again, I feel like he had most of his success after.
He was good when he was
he was good.
He was good. Yeah. I mean, he got paid. It was
Oh,
either
yeah.
because they had Reggie and
Yeah.
Bryce, and they're like, he went to Buffalo, got paid, and then went to Jacksonville.
I can't believe you're not giving Mason Crosby any love as a 6th-round
Have you
pick.
ever heard him talk about kickers?
I know, but I think you guys are wrong.
You can stand on this, but I think the 3 of us don't view kickers in the same light.
Yes.
I love Mason. He's a great
Hey,
dude.
nice guy, good golfer.
Yeah, really good golfer.
Yep.
Good player.
That's where it ends.
Also, probably the best kicker that this. Don't even give me a Ryan Longwell if anybody was going to toss that one out there.
You're kicking it between 2 pipes in a violent
But
game.
that's the
I'm
job.
Sorry. No.
That's the job. Like, it's not like.
Without it.
Sorry, Jen.
It's the only part of football where you use your foot.
Yeah. Remove it.
You got to change the name then.
I've seen guys kicked in the balls. That ain't true.
Dominican Sue has had something to say about
Then
using your
I'll
feet.
add the word legal to my statement and see if that helps. Have you guys tried Celsius energy drink yet? I talk about it all the time because Celsius is what helps me get through my long days. Gives me the energy to get through Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and then, of course, all of my other work, and then, of course, all of my home duties. 18 different flavors to choose from. Arctic Vibe, Fuji Apple Pear. You guys know I love the peach vibe, but I have been lately enjoying the grapefruit. Very refreshing. It's so good. It is the essential energy drink that I choose to stay on top of it all. You can find it at Pick and Save or online at Amazon. Stay active and energized all day long with Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We have eastbound 94 still backing up from about 84th Street through the stadium interchange. Just be careful with that. The westbound side's going to be slow from about 20th Street all the way to about Holly Road. Southbound 43 slowing from Silver Spring all the way down past Keefe. The northbound side right around the North Avenue curve. That's where it starts to slow down all the way up to Keefe. By the way, northbound 4394 also slowing down around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by the Club at Lac La Belle. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week starting this Sunday, May 5th. Schedule your tee time at clubatlaclabelle.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny skies, a few morning clouds to the north of Milwaukee, a lake breeze with a high of 67 at the lake, 71 inland tonight, scattered showers, a low of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May, score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s, or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries, 5 times the entries on drawing days, and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes? Slugger, only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit paysbig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the 2nd floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The source
What's a
is
click below dumb?
you. No.
That's fine. No, that's what I was getting
Good
at.
pop. Good pop.
I know.
Unnecessary.
I'm not dumb. I'm 1 click below dumb. We need to find out what that word is.
Don't you want to be 1 click above dumb?
Oh, that's right. I'm 1 click above.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I've been dreading this conversation.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not your wife. Like, if your wife comes up to you and says, "I've been dreading this conversation," you can have that reaction. This is about the Bucks. We put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll yesterday.
Can we have the other conversation? I think I'd rather talk about whatever serious conversation that my wife wants to have.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't been holding up your end of the donkey. And exactly. We put on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll yesterday. What season was more disappointing for the Milwaukee Bucks? We understand the caveat that this year's season is not yet over. And maybe by some miracle, again, me kneeling in my backyard yesterday like Forrest Gump and Jenna saying, "Make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away," but replacing it with, "Please heal Giannis and Dame." Please heal Giannis and Dame by Tuesday night's game. We think that the season is essentially over. It will be very difficult for this version of the Milwaukee Bucks to win the next 3 to take the series against the Pacers, and that is a huge disappointment. The results of that poll are this season 59%, last season 41%. This season, obviously winning right now. Oh, it just went final. We actually must have talked about this an hour yesterday in this hour of the show. Does that seem fair? Does that seem right that this season is more disappointing than last season was, Gabe?
I guess I'm more disappointed in last season because they were the number 1 seed. And everything had been going so well. And then they hit the playoffs and they were out. Like when we opened this playoff series, we knew it was going to be tough. I thought that they could still maybe do it, and then Dame gets hurt, and it's just everything kind of went to the wayside. And when I'm the person of, hey, the only thing that matters is the postseason. So you felt good going into last year. You didn't necessarily feel good going into this year. So I was more of a last year was disappointing because you thought that, okay, things are going great. They're the number 1 seed, one of the best teams in the NBA. They're going to be there in the end. And this year, especially with Giannis being hurt going in, the expectations weren't quite as high.
I agree, although I remember when they signed Dame, I was like, they have to be the number 1 team, power rankings. And then everything just fell apart with Griffith and bringing in. Once they brought Doc in, I knew that's a tough deal to bring in a new head coach in the middle of the season. And the chances, they still had a chance, but not as great as I thought when they signed him.
And if they were hoping for something that happened with the Cavs when they fired Blatt and brought in Ty Lue, like Ty Lue was the lead assistant. Like Ty Lue was already there. Doc was on the outside looking in. And that makes it tough.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what metric we're using, though, to further that position. Because if you're telling me that last year you went into the postseason feeling good about the Bucks, I'm assuming it's because of what they did in the regular season.
They were the ish, but they were healthy. Like, they were healthy going into last postseason. Like, Giannis was healthy, Drew was healthy, Chris was healthy. So, yeah, based on what I've seen those guys do in the postseason when they're healthy, because that's what's held them back since 2021.
So the argument being made is that this season, the people who have voted for this season, they are a prisoner of the moment. Because right now this feels really lousy, and you've got this impending ousting that is, hours away at this point, it feels like. And that's why so many people, the majority of people, have voted for this season. My argument is this season because I thought that Dame was supposed to be that piece that got them over the hump. Yep. And once Dame came in, and I know you're saying that the caveat there is bright, but then you brought the new coach, and that Chris wasn't healthy all season, and all of those types of things. I guess I'm trying to figure out again how I'm supposed to use the regular season as a metric for how optimistic I should be about the team in the postseason.
I mean, again, it's more about health. I mean, if you don't, you want to talk about getting over the hump. If you don't have Giannis, there's no hump to get over. But right? And when Giannis is injured going into a postseason.
But I also think that part of the disappointment this season is having seen Giannis experience injuries, some of which seemed like really bad injuries, and come back from them in record time. So that set an expectation for me, and I'm guessing others, of, well, Giannis is a freak. We call him the freak, the Greek freak. And so he's going to be able to get back from this injury in record time, like he did before. And so that expectation, we always talk about how expectation can lead to disappointment, I think also made the disappointment that much greater for me this year.
Yeah, and I know Chewy talked about this, though, at the time of when he came back in 2021, it was more of the knee. It wasn't the soft tissue muscle, which is just a completely different thing.
Hyperextension.
Yeah. It seems like it's more of a pain tolerance thing versus an actual, your muscle's just not going to let you go.
Should we have seen this coming, though? When they fired Terry Stotts, which is like firing your offensive or defensive coordinator.
Left, which I think is probably worse. He just went, you know what?
I mean, should we have seen like something? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, we should. We should have made a bigger deal about that when it happened. Yes.
Are they a dysfunctional franchise right now?
I don't think you can call them functional. Functional franchises aren't paying 3 head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Functional franchises, and that's not to say they can't right the ship.
Right, because again, the comment that I had, and I'm sure I will forever hear about this, but I will stand by it, was if you err quickly. The Bucks realized that that was not the right fit. Some of the stories that came out later on certainly seem to back that sentiment. And so they moved on. They said, we're not going to run an entire season with the guy who we know can't do the job.
But if they lose tonight, there's no way anyone can go into next season if they don't really change anything and feel good, feel confident, feel like, okay.
There will likely be changes. I mean, we've talked about some of the players that we don't think will be.
But it'll just be players?
Well, like Gabe said, I don't think they can financially.
Like, you're not firing Doc. He's not going anywhere.
Horse shouldn't go anywhere. I like him.
He might.
I like him.
He might go somewhere, though.
I won't watch. If they fire him, I will not watch.
But also his name. Yes, we're aware
What
of
a threat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You keep this up, Chewy, I'm not going to eat my vegetables tonight. I won't do it. I refuse.
But Gabe, you were just going to say that there have been rumors of him potentially taking another job.
Yeah, where the Detroit Pistons would be interested in him as their director of basketball ops.
Which is weird. Isn't that weird?
Why is that weird? He's a general manager who's won an NBA title.
I know, but you have so much talent here. This is a good thing. This isn't a bad thing. Why do you want to move on from a good thing to go to a caca thing?
Because he's from Detroit. Maybe he wants to build up his hometown team. Maybe he thinks he can...
Do you think any part of that is, hey, you should maybe start looking for another job?
It's possible.
That's dysfunctional.
800-990-3776. What is more disappointing? Last season's boot by the Miami Heat in the first round when they were the top seed in the East, or this year where never really got the plane off the ground? You can't weigh in on that because we had that on yesterday's poll, but Casey just weighed in on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. This year's vibes weren't trending in the right direction ever. It's disappointing, but like a slow, icky disappointment. Last year, losing to the Heat was a gut punch, and to me, it made it much more disappointing. That's from Casey in Sheboygan.
Especially because in games 4 and 5, they were one of the first teams to blow a 12-point lead with 5 minutes left in a playoff game. And then they blew the lead in game 5 at home, and the season ended with the ball in Grayson Allen's hands, and you didn't even get a shot off.
And look, maybe we're missing the forest for the trees in this conversation, guys. The fact of the matter is, the fact that we're arguing which one is more disappointing means that both were disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is what is the most glaring. And like, when you talk about gut punch, this is a team that won the Larry O'Brien not that long ago. I have very vivid memories of the parade in downtown Milwaukee and the rally outside Fiserv Forum. And the idea then was, we got a dynasty building here. And maybe that was premature. You could sit here and throw that in my face. Absolutely. You'd won one. But with Giannis on the roster and his commitment to Milwaukee, it felt like that was possible. And it felt like if you could just keep putting the pieces around him to take some of the pressure off late in the games, as we have discussed, and some of the other defensive things that the Bucks have dealt with. Like, it felt like you could be a team that was a contender for sure in the East. And here we are again facing another first-round elimination. Like, this has been a real kick to the face.
Yeah.
But you're not going anywhere without Giannis. I mean, he missed a couple of games last year. He's missed this entire series. Like, you're not going anywhere without Giannis being able to play. And that's the biggest thing that they have to figure out next season. And some of it's fluky, maybe some of it's not. I know it's something that the NBA has dealt with and trying to figure out, okay, how do we balance making sure our stars play during the regular season, but are also healthy enough to play in the postseason? Because this isn't just a Giannis problem, by the way. You look across every series, and it seems like there is a big-time player missing somewhere in just about every series in the opening round of the NBA.
Somebody played through a calf injury last night. I can't even remember who it was. Was it Murray? Did Murray play through a calf injury last night?
That he played through,
Obviously,
yes.
the Nuggets ended up winning that series, bouncing the
Porzingis ended
Lakers.
up getting a calf injury last night. Zion Williamson missed his entire series. Jimmy Butler has been missing this entire series. Kawhi Leonard has a knee injury that he's been dealing with. I think that's it. I'm probably missing one.
So, but can the Nuggets win the title even if Jamal Murray, let's say that calf injury, again, knock on wood, not trying to, voodoo anything, but let's say that calf injury lingers and he's not able to play the rest of the series. They still have Jokic. Can they win the title?
They can't win the title without Murray. That is a team that is top heavy. They need him. They need Jokic.
The Bucks are top heavy too, right?
Correct.
Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah, but I think that's any team. I don't know if any team out there can win without both of their top players. You're not winning an entire title. Maybe you can survive a series, but I don't think you can win 4 series without your.
But again, the whole point is, can you scrap together a couple of victories to get you through to your guy getting back?
Able to.
That's I think, Chewy, that was the frustration with this series.
Yeah.
Like, if you were trying to convince me headed into the series against the Pacers that the Pacers were an inferior opponent, I was hopeful that you could scrap together enough of an offense, a stout enough defense to be able to hold the Pacers. I know they were the top scoring offense in the league. I get it. But that you could scrap together something that could just get you through until Giannis could come back, and then eventually until Dame could come back, and they just haven't been able to.
But you can't do that without your top 2. You can do it with one of your guys. Like, if both Jokic and Murray miss their series, they're not taking care of the Lakers in 5 games. The Lakers are winning that series. That's just the facts of the matter. And I think that the Bucks, again, they took it to overtime, and if Dame was able to go at full strength in that overtime, I like their chances of winning that and being up 2-1, and then they are scraping together enough. But the second that Dame is also out, you got no chance.
So chance of winning tonight?
1? Maybe 2%? Yeah.
Or quarters?
It's not, I mean, hell, if they win 8 quarters, I will be thrilled. But they just can't. I mean, you're undermanned when you spend that much money on those top 2 players and they're both out. There's only so much you can do on the back part of the roster. And they're just not good enough. They don't have enough ball handlers. Chris Middleton, as well as he's played, like, he can't carry it all by himself. You need help.
800-990-3776. Reaction rolling in on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. Ian in the 262 saying, dysfunction follows Jimmy Haslam. What did we expect when we got in bed with him? Will in the 262 saying, this year isn't disappointing. It's just sad. What are you going to do when your stars get hurt? It is what it is. Colin in the 414, this season has made me really miss Drew Holiday. I know we got Dame, but if it was possible, I would have traded Chris instead of Drew 10 times out of 10. Alan in the 414 saying, this year is more disappointing. I still haven't heard a decent explanation as to why they thought it was good to turn this franchise over to a rookie head coach. We were doomed from that moment. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Spring fishing is finally here, and Fleet Farm has everything you need to reel in more fish this year. Upgrade your gear with the best brands like Rapala, Berkeley, and St. Croix. Find exclusive flicker sheds you won't find anywhere else, starting at $12.99. Get rod and reel combos starting at only $24.99. And shop our wide selection of fishing line that starts at just $4.99. Land top fishing gear and everything else you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at discount liquor.
Baseball and tailgating. Two of Wisconsin's traditions are back. Have you made a game plan? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. For over 60 years, we've been part of the starting lineup that makes your tailgate an experience. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, we're your pre-game headquarters. It's not a game without a tailgate, and it's not a tailgate without a stop at Discount Liquor, where we literally have everything you need to get back to your baseball traditions. So before you head to the ballpark, head to Discount Liquor. 2 area locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
Discount Liquor.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay, Milwaukee, and Madison in Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course, camp on site all weekend, and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Make sure you get tickets for the NTT IndyCar Series race at Road America June 6th through the 9th. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Hey guys, it's Brad Nortman here to tell you about a great offer at Bank 5-9. I know we're all looking for ways to save our money, and at Bank 5-9, you can earn more by opening a money market account today. With rates as high as 5.3%, you'll earn more while working with a true local community bank. Be sure to check out their great CDs too. Helping you save more of your money is another way Bank 5-9 is making lives better. For details, visit bank59.com/MM specials. Member FDIC.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work.
Chewy,
am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Strategy. Give me what we should expect tonight. Pacers versus Bucks, Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs.
So have you prayed yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Every single moment.
All right. Let's up
prayer.
those.
What are you,
every
like a
hour
priest?
on the hour.
We're going to need 10 Hail Marys, not 5 Hail Marys. The 5 Hail
if
Marys.
you got a rosary, that's even better.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic.
Every Bucks fan should be pulling out their rosary and basically running the gamut of all of those prayers in order to get the Bucks to the finish line tonight. Is there any game plan? Is there any way they could beat the Pacers tonight?
I mean, there's a way, but it's, again, even if they win tonight, they're not winning 3 in a row.
You're saying they're delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, unless somehow miraculously, because it doesn't feel like Giannis and Dame are close, does it?
Did you see that Halliburton's questionable?
That would be nice. That would help.
Wait, so now we're hoping for more injuries for the other team. Like I see.
I mean, if we want to win, then if he doesn't play, again, speedy recovery to you, Tyrese. But if we're trying to potentially, but again, it doesn't feel like Giannis and Dame are close. It doesn't feel like, if they find a way to pull out a win tonight, Game 6 they're going to be back, and then anything can happen in the last 2 when you have Dame and Giannis. It doesn't feel like that.
Dame is worse than Giannis. Because I've strained my Achilles, and it just felt, the rubber band that has no elasticity left to it. That's what straining your Achilles. You don't go from a boot to, maybe I'll play on Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's less likely for Dame to play than for Giannis. Giannis is now, 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 weeks today, I believe. Yeah, it was the 9th when he got hurt.
I think they're afraid of KD. Even though they say, the two aren't related. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Those are doctors that are saying that. It's not like it's just me saying
against
it.
them. I'm just saying.
We've got our own doctor on the panel who's saying that there's a correlation between the two. Who are you going to believe, Jen?
The medical school ones.
He's got experience.
Can't believe everything you read in the books.
Doc Rivers just said.
And reading is overrated.
How many cadavers have you hacked up? Doc Rivers did say that Giannis moved, he shot, he's running now with no resistance after the workout he went through on Sunday. Is there, you tell me, Gabe, is there any optimism that Giannis could play?
Tonight?
Yeah.
I don't have any. Because I think they would have upgraded him to questionable at some point. He's still doubtful.
Yesterday when they put the injury report out.
And every time he's been doubtful, it's been
doubtful.
It's not been good. And he's sitting there with his Nike sweatsuit on the sideline.
So the only issue is the first half of the game on Sunday did make people think. I saw it all over social media, right? It was a 3-point game at the half. Well, look at this scrappy young team. Look at them hanging in there with the Pacers. And a lot of people saying, well, that says more about the Pacers than it does about this version of the Bucks. Is there any way they can duplicate that effort twice and maybe make it a game? And then you find yourself in a couple possession game late. Anything can happen.
100%. And if Halliburton doesn't go for the Pacers, that changes their equation too, because, so much of their offense goes through him and what he can do, even if he's not shooting the ball well, which he hasn't most of the series, had a better game shooting over the weekend. but just what he does distributing the basketball. I mean, he's the leader in the league in assists per game. So him being out,
which is crazy because I thought we were going to have the leader in assists per game. I thought that Dame was going to lead the league in assists per game, but alas,
wasn't even close.
Not the case.
Wasn't even close. So without him, I mean, their offense goes so much through him. I think that helps out the Bucks defensively because they can put together a better game plan. But again, unless if Halliburton's questionable, he doesn't play today, my guess is that he's going to show up in Game 6.
But maybe Giannis shows up in Game 6.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out psychologically. Because in their heads, they're like...
I think the mentality has to be just win the quarter. Win the quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Win the quarter. Stack a few of those. And find yourself, again, let's hope that Bobby Portis is, what one of the callers said it yesterday, feeling bad about the way things went down on Sunday, and he's out there playing like a guy with his hair on fire.
Need a big Bobby Portis.
But the thing
here.
is, if you get down 12-15, are you like, this flipping things over with?
Pretty
or do you
much.
battle back? You know what I mean? Psychologically, it's
15 doesn't feel, again, now it's different when you have Giannis and you have Dame.
Yeah.
15 has it, right? Because they have come back from 15-point swings. There have been those.
But again, when you've got two of the better offensive players in the league who can light it up at any given moment, yes, 15 doesn't feel that bad. But when, Jay Crowder's the one taking a bunch of shots, it feels a little different.
I don't want Jay Crowder on the floor. Sorry about it, Jay. That's Marquette on Marquette crime. We had some BC on BC crime the other day. That's Marquette on Marquette crime.
I'm dreaming about Galveston already.
Galveston, Florida?
Texas.
Dirty water. Brent in the 262 weighing in saying, Bucks fans have to go in tonight no matter what. Blow the roof off of Fiserv Forum. Show the team love no matter what. Anything can happen, just like angels in the outfield. And yes, I am hoping that there are angels helping the Bucks put the ball in the hoop tonight against the Pacers.
Desperate when you're hoping for the angels in the outfield. Angels on the hardwood.
Make it happen! Wildy and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee.
We got westbound 94 backing up from about 25th Street through the stadium. Eastbound slow from just before 84th Street through the stadium interchange as well. Southbound 43 in the brakes just before Hampton.